So what's the story?
I've decided Flynn's not going to get in our way. We're going to set up business right under her nose.
No, without support we go nowhere.
You got any alternatives?
Maybe.
Well, spit 'em out. I can't stay in here all morning.
The daughter of the governor of Wentworth Detention Centre claims that premenstrual tension as a defence to criminal charges is an insult to women. Quite a nice picture, don't you think?
I knew there was something I had to tell you.
Well?
Something I found out just before I lost my memory. About Miss Malone and guess who? Oh, for God's sake, Willie! Miss Ferguson.
What do you mean?
They are having an affair.
It's no good, Daphne. We know you're the one who's been knocking off our stuff.
No way, I never did. I wouldn't do that, honest, no.
It's no good, Daphne, we know.
Yeah, I did it.
I can plant enough evidence to tie you into the racket. And I guarantee that you'll not only lose your job, but spend a long time on the wrong side of your own bars.
What's it for?
You just keep your greedy hands off it for today's class.
Class? What are you talking about?
Thought you got your memory back.
I have. It doesn't mean I know everything.
The craft classes Mrs. Reynolds organised.
Well, I didn't think it was cookery, dear.
What do we use them for? Screen printing and graphic design.
What the hell's that?
Making posters, that sort of thing. It's all on the notice board for those that can read.
Yeah, well, it sounds like one of Reynolds' wanks to me.
Who's the teacher?
Look, dear, I don't know everything.
Don't you start.
I just said I
It's what
don't
you
know
meant,
everything.
not what you
Willie.
said.
Had a word to Nora today about the numbers game.
Yeah, what'd she say?
Seemed to like the idea. Got to put it to the rest of them at the next council meeting.
You reckon you can pull it off?
No worries.
Oh, bloody hell. They've been cutting things out of the paper again. I don't know why they bother. We see most of it on the telly anyway.
Maybe it was Graham. She's been nicking everything else around here lately.
Oh, yeah, well, it's wrecked the funnies on the other side.
Where is Lame Brain anyhow?
Yeah, too chicken to cop what's coming to her, that's where.
It's up to the council to punish her, not you.
Yeah, well, I reckon we ought to have a say. It was our stuff got pinched.
She couldn't really help it, though, could she?
Doesn't matter. She did it. That's what counts.
Yeah, and the council better make sure they don't go playing favourites.
Would you?
Did you get through to him? Yes. His secretary said he'll be expecting you in about half an hour. Good. I won't have to camp on his doorstep then. I rather gather the minister isn't too keen to see you. No, I don't suppose he is. Good luck. Thank you.
Well, here I am, ready to face the mob. Should be fun.
I hope you handle it more responsibly than you did this.
What is it?
We'll talk about it when I get home.
What was that all about?
Any truth in the rumour you two are moving back together?
They suggested we ask, yes.
I seem to remember you coming to me about it.
But it was you who actually said we should.
Well, perhaps it's not such a bloody good idea after all. Shut up for once!
Oh, well, look who's here.
About time you faced up to the music, Dumbo.
Cut it out, Lexi. Sort it out later.
We'll sort her out all right.
Look, I'm real sorry, everybody. I just didn't know what I was doing, that's all.
You have a lot to answer for, dear, including my amnesia.
Willie, I told you we'll sort it out later.
Okay, everyone, sit down. Come on. This is your instructor for today's class, Pippa Reynolds.
Thanks, Terry. Well, thank you all for coming. It's encouraging to see
Had any
so
trouble
many
crossing
of
the tracks, did you?
Yeah, Owen's new governor called Reynolds.
you. may as well know Mrs. Reynolds is my mother.
Nepotism,
She
eh?
certainly has breeding.
Hey, where'd you get your fancy clobber? Timbuktu.
London, actually.
Come on, let's keep it down.
I can handle this on my own, please.
Please be quiet!
Hello, Jenny. Glad to see you're able to come along.
Hello, Pippa. Do you know her?
Yes, we're all friends.
May as well meet the rest of us before we start. I'm Nora Flynn.
Nora?
Stephanie Graham.
Oh, Daphne, look, I hope what I said in the papers didn't upset you.
In the papers?
Yes, about your PMS case.
Sorry, what was that? We haven't seen the papers this morning.
I've got one here, actually. There you go.
Hey, no wonder they bloody cut it out. You know what you've done to Daphne, don't you? You stupid bitch.
How
do you think she'll get on with the class?
Good, I think. She seemed quite confident. I'm not so sure how she's going to get on with her mum, though, after that story in the paper.
No, Mrs. Reynolds had to go and explain to the minister.
Hey, good news.
Oh, what about?
The union has agreed to provide Pat with some money while she's on suspension.
Marvellous.
Had quite a fight getting it through, though, I can tell you.
Bolton.
Oh, who else? He's launched an investigation to see if her suspension is justified or not. Wouldn't pay anything till they'd completed the inquiry.
Oh, that's a bit hard.
Yeah, that's what I told him, only not quite so politely. Anyway, they've agreed to pay us something now before the inquiry's finished. Should be through within the week.
But you'd think they'd have an emergency fund or something.
Yeah, well, the union president has got to countersign the cheque, and he's interstate for a few days. Listen, I thought we might have a bit of a whip round amongst ourselves if no one objects.
Good idea.
Oh, everyone will join in, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will, yes. That's really very thoughtful of you, Jane.
Please take a seat, Mrs. Reynolds. This won't take long, will it? I have a lot on my plate at the moment.
It's a very serious matter, Minister.
So serious it can't be discussed with the head of the department. He is your immediate superior, after all.
It's because of Mr. Chaucer I'm here. We've discovered certain irregularities in these invoices.
I'm afraid accounts aren't exactly my forte. As I said, Mr. Chaucer...
Mr. Chaucer appears to be involved in these irregularities. That's why I'm here.
I see.
Those invoices go back over the last 3 years while Mr. Chaucer's been in charge. They cover the supply of kitchen items.
I hardly think a few misplaced kitchen items are cause for alarm.
I'm afraid it may not be as simple as that. Each account has been duplicated and the account paid twice, even though only one lot of goods has ever been supplied.
You're seriously suggesting Chaucer is behind this?
Not suggesting, stating. He came to see me this afternoon and virtually admitted the fact.
You realize these are very grave accusations, Mrs. Reynolds. We are talking about a highly respected member of the public service.
We're also talking about the department being defrauded of several $1,000s.
On the basis of a few incorrectly filed invoices? We'll have to come up with something more than that before we go putting heads of department under investigation.
With respect, Minister, Mr. Chaucer has had one of my best officers suspended.
I'm sure he had very good reason. Now, really, I don't want to pursue the matter any further.
Frankly, I do. If you insist on sweeping this under the carpet, I'll have no option but to place it in a more public forum. The daily newspapers, for instance.
Anything about Daffy?
Nothing.
That's a relief.
Poor kid. She's really freaked out, isn't she? It's that bloody pipper bird. She wouldn't give a stuff about anyone in here.
She's really very nice when you get to know her.
Who wants to know her?
Yeah, or go to her classes. Different style to her mum, that's for sure.
I reckon it's a put-up job.
Meaning?
Suppose Reynolds has really got it in for Daffy, only she doesn't want to admit it. So she gets a daughter to do the talking for her, even gets her to give classes to rub it in. Give Daffy a hard time.
I doubt it.
Gee, you've got a great imagination, Lexi.
Makes sense to me.
Mrs. Reynolds has always been real nice to me.
It's all right, Daphne. Lexi's only mucking about, aren't you, Lexi?
Whatever you say, boss.
All my merchandise has gone. Every bit of it. I've been cleaned out.
Come on, Willie, you gave it all away, love.
Me? Give things away? That's preposterous.
You got a dozen people witnessed it. Yeah, happened when you were off with the fairies.
But it couldn't be. Just a minute. I recognise that bracelet. I traded it with Kate for 3 ciggies and some leftover wool from May.
Oh, so that's where it got to.
But you said, oh, we could have whatever we wanted.
Well, I want it back now. Everything.
You're a bit late, Weeper. I used that face stuff last night. Come up real well, too. Look.
Well, I expect compensation. Your next buy-up, for instance.
Oh, don't overstep the mark, man.
Now, look, just...
Some areas, very few areas, I should hasten to add, in Melbourne, where neighbours do this, it works rather successfully. People,
Oh, Patterson. Your shot, is it?
Yeah, she's got me snooker behind the black ball.
Oh.
persons or
May I?
seen in proximity to the unoccupied.
Let's, try it off the cushion.
Your house is unoccupied by day. Give yourself another 8 points on your channel 10 card.
That was real good.
Oh, a bit out of practice, I'm afraid. Well, carry on. And keep the noise down a bit, will you, ladies? Thank you.
What the hell's got into her?
She must have gone soft. Now she's on with Malone.
Bloody hell, the freak's gone gaga. Don't like Malone's taste, but she certainly worked a miracle.
Well, Miss Ferguson might be going soft, but I'm not. I want my goods back.
Oh, don't chase yourself. You gave it all to us.
Here you are, Willie. You can have your bracelet back.
Oh, it's good to see someone's still got a sense of decency. Now, who's next?
You wouldn't be carrying on like this if you knew what you'd really thrown out the window.
You mean there was something more valuable?
Yeah. Lost it when you got your memory back.
I think she means you could be let out if you lost your memory permanently.
Is this right?
Yeah. Now you're stuck in here. Tough.
No, I've got nothing more to say about the grant. No, Mrs. Reynolds is not at home. Goodbye. You won't believe it. The phone hasn't stopped ringing since I got back.
I'm not surprised after what's happened.
It's no big deal. They blew it up out of all proportion. Well, it's a free country, isn't it? I've got a right to say what I think.
Do you have any idea what your casual words have done to harm Daphne Graham's case?
Matter of fact, yes. They made it pretty clear during the class.
The women? How did they find out?
We got talking and I showed them the paper, the one you almost threw
Pippa,
at
we
me.
do not censor the paper so that you can go in and hand them your copy.
They've got a right to know, haven't they?
If it doesn't jeopardize the case, yes, but all you've succeeded in doing is stirring up trouble, which I can certainly do without at the moment.
How was I to know?
By using a little common sense, and quite frankly, I'm beginning to wonder if you have any.
Anne, I'm sorry. All right, it was a stupid thing to do.
Well, from now on, I expect you to confine yourself to teaching the women something useful. And let me get on with the business of running the prison. Understood?
Well, I didn't mean to do it. I was just feeling a bit down, that's all.
That doesn't mean you can go around pinching all our stuff.
I think we have to make an example of her. We get little enough as it is without the fear of it being stolen.
Let's not get carried away. I'm sure nobody really believes Daphne did it maliciously.
And there are mitigating circumstances.
Here, here. OK. Any suggestions what the punishment should be? They'd chop her hands off in Iran.
Really?
No need to scare her to death.
Look, why don't we let her choose her own punishment? I mean, she knows what she did and why she did it. Surely that's enough.
Sounds fine to me. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, if you like.
OK, Daphne, it's up to you.
Oh, I don't know. Well, how about I clean the cells of all the people that I stole stuff from?
Yeah, from now till you get out, eh? We'll make it a week.
That sounds fair.
OK with everyone?
Yes, yes,
All
that's
right,
nice.
we start in the morning.
Oh, thanks, Nor. Thanks, Nolly. Yes. I promise I won't do anything like this ever again, okay?
Oh, mind asking Lexi to come in on your way out?
Yeah, sure.
What's Lexi up to?
Reckon she's got a plan to brighten up our lives.
No, and her, she probably wants a jukebox or something.
OK, how about telling us what you got in mind?
Well, I've been thinking, apart from Willie here losing the marbles, things have been pretty dull around here lately.
Don't you be impertinent or I'll vote no right from the start.
Sorry. Anyway, I thought a bit of gambling might get us going. You know, just something simple like the numbers game.
Oh, you're doing this for us or just for yourself?
Yeah, for you. I mean, I'd have to take a small percentage off the top, you know, for organising.
Yeah, like 100%, perhaps?
Let's hear the details before passing judgment.
Well, I thought we could sell 30 tickets at 50 cents each. That makes $15, right, Chuck?
Oh, even I can work that out.
The winning ticket would be worth 10.
And the rest?
Well, as I said, small percentage for organising.
$5? I told you he was a rip-off.
It is a bit steep, Lexi, but how about if you donated half to the Women's Fund?
What fund's that?
An emergency fund to help out anyone who's short. Provide extra cash for the women on work or day release.
Excellent idea.
Whatever you say, you know me, always willing to help.
Still think 250's a bit rough.
Oh, come on, half's from a partner.
No, who's that?
Lo.
Callie?
What? You can't blame someone forever for what they've done. Said that yourself. Anyway, she's only helping me to sell tickets. What's the harm in that?
All right, but the buck stops at you if anything goes wrong.
Sure.
And the numbers will be drawn by a council member in rotation. Everyone agree?
Too bloody right.
Terry, you there?
Coming. Hi.
G'day. You know, it turned out to be quite a reasonable day after all.
Great, I'll fix us a drink then.
Yeah?
I've been trying to sort things out with my parents.
Oh, any luck?
Afraid not. I spoke to Mummy on the phone, but she's just the same as she was yesterday.
It's all my fault, isn't it?
Don't be silly. It's my mother. She's old-fashioned.
So are a lot of people, it seems.
Don't worry about it. I will talk around. It'll just take a bit of time, that's all. Here we go.
Cheers.
To us.
You know, I wasn't too sure about things when you first said you were going to move in.
No doubts now, have you?
No, it's good.
Good for me, too. You know, I was proud of you today.
Huh?
The way you fixed the money up for Pat.
Oh, got to look after our members.
No, it was much more than that, and the others said so, too.
It's funny, isn't it? A couple of weeks ago, they They wouldn't have had a kind word for me. It's you know. You've done a lot for me, Terry.
Like old times, isn't it?
Not for me, it isn't. I feel like I've just been divorced and my husband's walked out with everything.
You've got to admit the place looks bigger now. It's not so cluttered.
You're talking about years of careful planning, of building a successful enterprise. It's all gone for nothing.
But we're back together again. That's what counts.
What counts is seeing my merchandise scattered all over the place. I didn't notice you offering to give anything back either.
Because I didn't accept anything, that's why.
How do I know?
I said so.
You think you can get away with anything, don't you? Just because my memory's a bit rusty.
Look, there was nothing worth taking anyway.
Oh, so you thought about it?
I did not. The last thing I want in my cell is your junk.
Oh, it's junk, is it? A lifetime's work, junk?
Yes, exactly. Absolute rubbish.
Meg Collins, how can you be so cruel?
Don't you try those crocodile tears on me,
I
madam.
didn't start it, you did.
Now, look, just shut up and go to bed before I do something I regret, like donging you on the head.
Oh, yes, you'd like to do that, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe you'd lose your memory again, then you wouldn't remember what to grouch about. Or better still, they might even toss you out of here. Good night.
Jackie around?
She gone to the toot. How'd you go?
Council boarded. Only we got to settle for $250 and they'll be watching us. I'll cop it if anything goes wrong.
Oh, I wouldn't let them worry you too much. We've got insurance.
Meaning?
The freak. Any trouble, she fixes it. Or we spill the beans about her and Malone.
Yeah!
What do we want? Equality! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Equality! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Equality! When do we want it? Now!
Sorry about this, Mrs. Reynolds.
How long have they been here?
Quite a while, I'm afraid.
Equality!
We want to see the governor.
I'm the governor. You are?
Rachel Freeman. I've been waiting to speak to you on behalf of our women's group.
All right, I'll speak to you in my office, but not here.
Equality! Equality! When do we want it? Now!
Hey, I just heard Mrs. B talking to Slats. Reckons there's a whole bunch of protesters at the main gate. All this PMS stuff.
You're getting famous, love.
It's not going to hurt me case, is it?
We know who to blame if it does. Do you know, I'm beginning to wonder if she really is Mrs. Reynolds' daughter after all.
Yeah, chip off the old block if you ask me. Bad as each other.
I've got a feeling her class sizes are about to shrink drastically.
Yeah, I've had second thoughts myself.
Oh, Graham. Look, I'm afraid you won't be able to go outside today.
But Miss Ferguson, me plans, don't miss
Has
me.
this got anything to do with them demonstrators? I heard a whisper.
Yes, Jenkins, those whispers are correct, I'm afraid. Righto, ladies, line up, please.
Hey, you two going to take tickets in the game? Everyone else is. Yeah, I think I will. Jen?
No, thanks, Lex.
Oh, come on, you stand a chance of winning $10. Won't stop you thinking about that hot shot lawyer of yours.
May I have your attention, please? The new printing press is arriving today, and I'd like some volunteers to help install it.
Oh, I'll be in it. Changes as good as a holiday.
Oh, me too.
Well, count us in, Mrs. M.
A beach?
Fine. Right, well, I'll need 2 more. What about you, Kelly?
Forget it.
I'll give it a go, Mrs. M. Do you want a Jen?
Well, yes.
If you like.
An extra hand here if you need it.
No, I have enough now, thanks.
Have you got an instruction manual?
Oh, yeah, who's going to teach us how to use it? I am. After I've been shown myself.
Quieten down, please. Now, if that's all, Mrs. Morris, I'll get on with the head count.
Fine.
OK. Nice straight line, please, ladies. Come along.
But if you use PMS as a defence in the Daphne Graham case, it'll put the equal opportunity movement back at least 10 years.
I would have thought the opposite. If society accepts and understands the extra problems women have...
Don't get me wrong. We're not denying the existence of PMS. All we're saying is that we don't want to see employers using it as an excuse not to employ women. It'll make a mockery of the Sexual Discrimination Act.
Surely not.
Mrs. Reynolds, if you prove that women aren't responsible for what they do a couple of days each month, then you give every employer in the country an excuse not to hire one.
I understand what you're saying. But what about Daphne? How do you think she feels? You're asking her to accept the rest of her sentence when she has a good chance of being released.
Sure, there's always a price to pay for progress.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, in this case, it's too high. Now, if you'd like to take it up with the department, fine. Otherwise, I would appreciate it if you and your supporters packed up and let us get on with the job.
What'll I do with this paper, Mrs. Morris?
Just put it on the bench for the moment, will you?
Hey, this is really old, isn't it, Mrs. M?
Yeah, place looks like a junkyard. First a pianola, then this old bucket of bolts.
I'd be grateful for small mercies if I were you.
Look, how's that something from the 20th century, Mrs. M? Like one of them video machines.
No, look.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we don't deserve nothing but this rubbish.
Collins and Jenkins, get some rags, will you, to start cleaning up these rolls.
Hey, you two going to buy tickets? They're going fast.
Oh, yeah, love to, but maybe later. I've got no dough on me at the moment.
Okay, I'll save you one. How about you, Jen?
Hartley, you have a visitor.
Who is it?
Your solicitor.
Oh, good luck.
What are you doing?
Shh, I'm starting up a new trading business, even better than my old one.
With that? You must be slipping.
And the box. It's made of high-quality cardboard. It could be very useful to someone like you.
Oh, no, thanks. Hey, but if you want a chance to win that $10, you better buy your ticket quick.
Mr. Simmons? Here she is.
Oh, thanks very much. Deal.
Where have you been? I've been worried sick since I found out I was going to be in court in a few days.
It's all right, you needn't have worried. I never abandon the client, especially when we're making such good progress. Right, first up, I've managed to get you the best barrister that money can buy.
Oh, I can't afford it.
It's not going to cost you a cent. Aunt Harriet is paying.
What?
Well, to be
Why
frank,
should
she doesn't know that she is, but she is.
I don't understand.
Well, you see, she tried to bribe me. Offered me $5,000 to drop off the case. It's a great deal of money, how could I refuse? Especially when barristers are so expensive.
Couldn't you be debarred or something?
I don't think Aunt Harriet is going to go to the police somehow. Well, let's face it, after what she's done, paying for your defence is the least she deserves.
Thanks, Mr. Simmons.
Howie, remember? Also, I've been interstate, which is another reason I haven't been in touch. I've been checking on Harriet and Steve's financial affairs. It would seem that they've been running up quite a few debts, living beyond their means by this.
Aunt Harriet always had expensive taste.
Yeah, well, I managed to find another little interesting tidbit of information. It seems they arrived in Melbourne 3 days before they said they did.
3 days?
Which means they had ample opportunity. And a motive.
Oh, can't they be arrested or something?
We'll have to be patient on that one. The first thing we've got to do is to persuade Inspector Grace to reopen the investigation.
How long will that take?
Not too long, I hope. Old Jack's an old friend. Which means you may not even have to appear in court.
Oh, Howie! Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, got a call from the union. The department's agreed to reinstate me with full back pay.
Oh, well, we achieved something, eh?
Here's the money you collected. It was very good of everyone, but I won't need it now.
All right. I'll see it gets back to the people who gave.
Yes, heard the good news. Welcome back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be back if Joan hadn't got the union to weigh in for me.
Oh.
Good work, Joan.
It's all part of the job. I must get on with this one.
Well, I'm glad all that's sorted out. Must say, I'm fairly amazed. Joan actually getting off her butt and doing something constructive.
I wasn't very hopeful either. Not after the way I complained about her to the union that time. Between you and me, I think her and Terry flatting together's got something to do with it. If you know what I mean.
Yes, someone else said the same thing. Mind you, if it's got anything to do with all the pleasantness around here lately, I'm all for it.
Yeah. That's wonderful news, love. I'm sure we're all very glad for you.
I knew if I could get someone to look hard enough, they'd find evidence. Now he's found it.
He must be really dedicated from what you said.
He's a bit different from most lawyers. Treats you more like a friend. Oh, I don't know how to thank you for putting me onto him, May.
Glad to be of service, love.
About time someone put one over the bastards anyway.
I'm not putting anything over anyone. I've always told you I'm innocent.
Doesn't make any difference to me whether you are or not. At least you're getting out.
Certainly put a stop to that little game of your aunt's. I mean, if they drop the charges against you, she can't contest the will, assuming she even stays out of jail.
I don't really care about the money. I do want to see her punished.
I hope they don't force her on us. We've got enough nasty types in here as it is.
I wouldn't mind. I'd rather enjoy letting them know what I think of people that set up their own flesh and blood on a murder rap. What do you reckon, Nora?
Let's wait and see. The first thing is for Jenny to get out.
I'm the one who should be getting out.
Well, you should have thought of that before you got your silly memory back, shouldn't you? You've no one to blame but yourself.
And who do I blame for all my stock being misappropriated while I was too ill to defend myself?
Miss what?
Given away, love. I was not sound of mind at the time. You took advantage of me.
Oh, pooh-bah. And if you don't stop your whinging, I shall forget about that perfume soap I was going to give you as a welcome back present.
Are you really going to go? Am I ever? I can't wait to get out of here. Oh, but I wish you were coming with me, Daff. Then we could play on Nana's piano together, like we do here.
Yeah. I'm not going to have anybody to teach me to play now, am I?
It's practice, that's all. Anyway, you might get out yourself soon, and then we could play together. And then I could teach you about cadences and modulation.
Oh, wow!
Oh, by the way, everyone, don't forget, we're reading the last of the essays out after work.
Oh, good.
Then we're going to announce the editorial board for the newspaper. So everyone who's interested, make sure you're there.
Haven't you ever seen anyone take pills before?
Never seen anyone take so many. There's more every time you're in here.
Yeah, well, I need all those to offset the food you serve up.
You don't have to eat here, you know.
Don't. Go and get me a glass.
Whatever you say, Jack.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Howie. Still on the 10 best dress list, I see. So how are you? Not bad. Thought you'd gone to Queensland or you'd died or something. Huh? Just being selective in the kind of jobs I take on these days, that's all. So how's Val? Compared to what? Oh, she's better off than what she deserves. Mind you, she had a snappy, well-dressed lawyer on her side.
Be thankful you got off as light as you did. In a divorce case, nobody wins. I'll have a beer, thanks, sir. And one for my friend here.
No, I'll have the juice.
And a juice for my invalid friend.
What do you want, Howie?
Just buying you a drink, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice place, this. Should come in more often. Your name came up recently. I was reading a paper, Hartley murder trial. Arresting officer, right?
Yeah. Trial comes up in a few days. And that'll be the end of it. She's guilty as hell.
Not necessarily, Jack.
Now, Howie, I've known you a long time. You're a nice bloke. I'd never say anything bad against you. But when it comes to judgment of character, you're not particularly crash hot.
Evidence, Jack. I got evidence.
Come on, how often have I heard that before?
Well, you either reopen the investigation or you lose the case in court.
Yeah, well, with you defending it, Howie, I think I'll take the risk.
She's not a murderer, Jack. She's already doing time in jail. Now you want to put her through a court case. How can you live with your conscience if she's innocent?
I take another pill. Now, look, Howie, you couldn't prove in court that winter was colder than summer. Just leave me alone. I need concentration for this whatever it is.
I got a fair idea who did kill him. So why don't you be a good bloke and have a word with the CP? Get him to drop the charge.
Anything new, Howie, you bring up the evidence, all right?
Evidence.
This all looks the same to me.
Take your time. Read it carefully. By the way, you might like to know that the aunt offered me $5,000 to drop off the case.
If I was you, I'd grab it.
No way, but it did show one thing. That she's scared. Jack's paying.
Got rid of most of me brummy numbers up in maternity. How'd you go?
Yeah, spread them through the kitchen and workshop. Lapped them up just like we thought.
Yeah, too bad their chances of going up in smoke, eh?
What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm burning them.
I thought you said you were going to flush them down the took. What if Chook or someone walks in?
Stop panicking. They're in the rec room. I saw them on the way here.
Look, you're going to blow up before we've even got started. They'll smell the smoke in bloody Darwin.
Yeah, but they won't have no evidence, will they?
Oh, hell, Lou. Now flush the rest of them like you were gonna.
Suit yourself.
Look, and you make sure those who got the dud numbers this time get the good ones next time. I want them all to get a crack at winning their money back.
What's the difference? A con's a con.
Look, we can at least do it fair and square and give them all a chance to win their money back.
You got a screw loose or something?
No, I just don't like cheating people, okay? This way the odds even out.
Listen to it. It's got a conscience. Look, you call it whatever makes you happy. I'm calling it a con, and I got to make bloody sure I get rich out of it.
Sleepier and sleepier.
Listen to my voice. You are losing your memory. You are forgetting. Stop that. Concentrate. Oh, I need something heavy. Needs a temper. Things one goes through for one's freedom.
What are you doing?
Resting. Just resting.
On the floor.
I was told it was good for the spine, lying on a hard surface. What do you want?
May.
She's not here.
No. Well, I'll talk to her later.
Joyce was under the impression that you'd gone to see him about Pippa's statement to the press.
Yes, well, I think that's resolved to some extent. Pippa rang to say that Rachel, whatever her name is, had been to see her to ask her to be spokesperson for her women's group.
She knocked it back.
Oh, I think she's managed to see the argument from the other point of view.
Now, what about Chaucer? He won't be staying on as head of the
I'd
department,
be
sure.
surprised. I'm going to see the minister tonight, and I'll know for sure then. Oh, Joyce tells me Jennifer's spirits are up after seeing a solicitor.
Yes, well, she said that he'd found some new evidence that will prove that she's innocent for once and for all.
Good. Still, it's going to be difficult for her, even if she is freed, all that publicity.
Oh, well, I think the time she's spent in here has been very valuable. She's grown up a lot in the past few weeks. Hopefully, enough to cope with things on the outside.
Suppose we should be grateful. This place has actually done someone some good. Even if it does turn out that she should never have been here in the first place.
Oh, how'd you go?
I talked to the aunt and her husband. Still waiting on confirmation from Adelaide. But even if they did leave there before the murder, there's nothing to put them in Melbourne.
No. Well, I checked out the housekeeper's hit and run. Description of the car doesn't come within a mile of theirs.
Talk to that old gardener?
George, yeah. Very vague, though, mate. Wouldn't know if it was Christmas. He can remember seeing marks outside the window, but doesn't remember whether it was the day of the murder or the day before or the day after or whatever. Frankly, I think Howie's having himself on, and it wouldn't be the first time.
Want more men on it?
No, waste of time. We've already got the one we want.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back, Mrs. Slattery.
Yeah, well, the next time you go digging up evidence, be more careful about who you dob in.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean all that to happen.
Oh, well, it's over now. Fortunately, Miss Ferguson went into bat for
Miss
me and made
Ferguson?
sure...
No, I thought it was Mrs. Reynolds. She was the one that got me to go back in the files. That's when I found the other signatures. Proved it couldn't have been you.
Mrs. Reynolds did that?
Yes. She never really thought it was you. She went straight to the department as soon as I found them for her.
And here I've been patting Joan on the back all day for something she didn't even do.
Hey, I've been wondering, would it be all right if I swap me numbers ticket for another one?
What for?
Well, see, I've got number 19, but number 3's me lucky number, so I'd like to swap the 19 for a 3.
Oh, take it from me, you wouldn't want to do that. 19's a lot luckier than 3.
Oh, not for me. See, it's in my horoscope. I've got to have number 3. It's me lucky number.
It's too late. It's been sold.
Who to?
Hayes.
Make up your minds. Who was it?
Hayes.
Bonnie. Yeah, it was Hayes.
Well, yeah, you see what happened is they both wanted, must be everyone's lucky number or something. So we sold to Bonnie and then she swapped it with Hayes. You can check if you like. They're all up in maternity.
Funny thing, that.
I'll get the butts from a cell, OK?
Don't bother. You wouldn't be silly enough to try and rig anything. You know what would happen to you if you got caught.
Of course.
Looks like you'll have to stick with number 19, love. Maybe it'll turn out lucky for you.
Yeah.
That was my dear old mum's lucky number, too. Always worked for her.
There's the bell for the craft class, ladies. Anyone who's interested, better get going.
Oh, I wouldn't waste my time.
Yeah, let the jumped-up little bitch go teach herself, eh?
I think I might go north, that's okay.
Sure.
After what she did to you?
She said she was sorry. It's just them papers. They're always exaggerating.
More loopy than I thought.
That's enough. No one's stopping if you want to go, love.
Oh, thanks, Nor. Where are the others? I want to get started. Maybe they got held up. Oh, come on, Jenny. The novelty's worn off, that's what it is. God, talk about attention span. I mean, how are they going to improve themselves if they can't stay interested in anything for more than 2 minutes? I could charge a lot of money for my time, but I'm doing this for free. I'm trying to help them. Don't they want to be helped? Oh, sorry I'm late. Where are the others?
I think they're busy. Well, see, some of them reckon that I shouldn't even be here because of what you said in the paper, but I told them it didn't mean nothing bad about it.
I see.
You don't mind me being here, do you?
Why would I mind?
Oh, I don't know.
Daphne, sit down. Let's get started. $22.50. Not bad if I do say so myself, eh?
What about that stupid bitch Graham? She nearly blew the whole thing.
Look, if you hadn't been so quick to jump in, it would never have happened. Next time, let me do the talking, okay?
Well, how about you start doing this and dish out me dough?
Later. First, I've got to rake off the prize money and the council share.
Now?
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Counting our blessings, are we? Now, you two know better than to be carrying money. It's a chargeable offence. You could wind up in the pound.
Oh, we was just looking after it, you know, for someone else.
Yeah.
How nice of you. Hand it over.
No. No, I don't reckon we will.
You either hand it over to me or to the governor. Either way, you're in a heap of trouble.
Well, won't be the only one. Not after she hears about you and Malone.
And what's that supposed to mean?
We heard you and her were real friendly. And I don't just mean mates.
I wonder what your precious department will say when they find out. Might be a couple of new jobs going, eh, Lex?
Yeah, too right.
Real pretty sight, wasn't it?
I'm very busy. What the hell are you up to? It's none of your business.
What were you doing?
It's nothing to do with you. It's my memory, and if I want to lose it, I will.
You'll lose. You could have killed yourself.
Rubbish. I calculated the weight precisely.
Oh, you've gone crackers if you think that sort of thing
if
is...
you were any sort of a friend, you'd help me, not stand there calling me names.
Oh, give that to me.
No.
Give it here.
You can't stop me. They're all set to let me up before. Do you maybe remember? This time I'm going to do it properly.
Oh, you silly girl. You can't go turning your memory on and off like a transistor radio. Now forget it. Just forget the whole thing.
That's what I was trying to do.
Well, let's get to the rec room. They're all waiting for us. Willie, come on, you stupid girl. And if I find you doing that sort of thing again, I'll turn you around and give you such a spanking.
Oh, look, just try this bit again.
I can't play it, Jen.
Come on, Daff, try.
Hey, why don't you play something?
You're never going to learn if you don't practice.
Yeah, I know that, but I want to hear you play. Won't have much more chance, member.
In a minute, come
Here
on.
she is at last. Now,
Right,
sit
let's get
down.
started. Come on, let's have some quiet. As you know, this special meeting is to hear the last of the essays. Julie's going to read them, and then we're going to take a vote on the winner. Okay?
Okay, first one's called Come Back Etty. Old Etty's been inside so long, reckon she must have been the first thing here. They probably built the place around her and then started bringing the rest of us in to keep her company. Thing was, it got to be the other way around and she was the one that ended up keeping us company. We really miss that nutty old brain of yours, Et. P.S. the war's over.
Yeah, I missed the old fruitcake myself.
That was lovely. Who wrote that?
No names, but we vote on a winner. Go on, Julie.
Okay, next one's a poem called I Never Did. Now, I hope you don't give me the gong, 'cause me story ain't that long. I'm a victim of fate. I swear to you, mate, I never done nothing wrong.
Oh,
is that all? Seems to be.
Gee, who's the literary genius? You, Lurch?
I'll get nicked, will ya?
Okay, lucky last called Wish It Was Summer. Didn't like it much where I grew up. Nothing but bricks and concrete. Sun didn't even come in the windows because of the shadows of the other flats. But at least you knew the sun was there. You knew if it was summer or winter. In here you don't. In here it's always winter, always cold, lonely, especially lonely. We're all locked up away from each other, not like in padlocks, but inside us. What we're thinking, feeling, sort of like those shadows Except you can't walk out the door and feel what the sun's really like. Wish you could. Wish it was summer.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. It's true when you think about it.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Once I agree with you. Can I borrow a hanky?
Whoever wrote that certainly hit on a nerve.
Well, I thought you might like to know what I came up with.
You're dropping all charges and arresting the aunt.
I'm afraid not, Howie. Like I thought, not an ounce of concrete evidence. All that stuff you gave me. I mean, it doesn't hold up. You get laughed out of court in 10 seconds flat.
Oh, come on, you don't think I'm going to accept that, do you?
It's up to you, mate. But as far as I'm concerned, that's it. Look, I'm sorry, but I'll see you in court.
Hang on, just a minute. Hang on. You! Stop!
Drop part in case next time we get serious, understand?
And the winner of the big numbers raffle is number 19.
Okay, we'll settle up later. Now let's announce the staff of the newspaper. Staff is as follows. Head reporter, Julie. Show business and fashion we gave to Lexi. But she's always out in front with fashion. Good on you.
Why don't I do the medical column, Nora? I could write a story about my amnesia.
Sorry, Willie, but you're doing the advice column.
Advice? On what?
Personal problems? Help for the love lawn.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I need help. I've been lawned for years.
And as you know, the editor-in-chief will be the writer of the winning essay. The voting for the winner has been unanimous. The writer of Wish It Was Summer is Daphne!
2 wins in one day, your luck's changing, Dad.
She can't even write her own name.
I can't. I couldn't be an editor. What am I going to do? Well, you don't have to do it yourself. We'll all help. You can do it, can't you?
I still think I should do that column. I mean, with my experience of...
Willie, are you all right?
Who are you? Where am I?
Oh, no, not again.
And in view of the discrepancy in the accounts, I'm suggesting the department look for another supplier.
Good. And what about Mr. Chaucer?
What about him?
You've agreed he's been misappropriating funds. What action will be taken against him?
I agreed funds have been misappropriated, yes. The important thing as far as you're concerned is that the matter is being dealt with through the correct channels.
But, Minister...
I am making myself very clear, Mrs. Reynolds.
I'm sorry, but I'm not letting it rest at that. If you won't take action against him, I'll find someone who will.
You'll find that a lot more difficult than you imagine, considering you've absolutely no proof.
But the invoices...
I'm afraid I've been rather careless with those. Mislaid them. Permanently. Now, why don't you forget the whole business? As I said, the matter's closed.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare